Good morning, evening, whatever. I always catch myself right in the middle of it. Like, yeah, you know what? We do got a lot of people that listen to us from overseas, so
Yeah.
we sure we include everybody, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's like that. It's like that country song. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So
Well, I mean that is true.
it's definitely 5 o'clock somewhere. Know a lot of our European friends are probably, having, you know, well, hell, we know the guys in the defaced are drinking wine. We know that. So I mean, it's.
Right, right.
I know there's probably, I know there's wine being enjoyed, and I'm sure there's quite a few beers being cracked open right now too.
Yeah, probably barrel
Well,
too. So
yeah. Well, shit, I guarantee. Hell, it's 10 o'clock in the United States. I guarantee you, there are people who are drinking already. So it's, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be the afternoon. So
yeah, that is
it
true.
does not. So
Oh
but hey,
man,
wherever you're at, tying one on. Welcome to the Metalheads Unite podcast. We
that's
do
right.
not. We don't judge here.
That's right.
We
That's
do
not our
not.
job. So,
No, absolutely not.
oh man, What's that? Trying to get everything where I can just click and go. So,
Right? Yeah, I know. I do this. I do this when I'm getting ready for a thing.
well,
Like have everything open, just go from one tab to one tab to one tab. I do the same thing.
and then also anybody out there that celebrates, happy Easter weekend to all of
Happy
you. So,
Easter.
yeah, if you don't eat rabbit on Easter, then I don't know what you're doing. Uh, I,
Bill Rabbit.
it'd be
Bill
the one.
Rabbit.
It'd be the one time Daffy Duck would be correct. It's rabbit season.
It's rabbit season. Oh, yeah. Now they don't make cartoons like they used to anymore.
They don't, man.
They
It's like,
just
and like, it's funny because like me and Cece talked about this because people don't know my wife's in the middle of a psychology degree, so we're talking about stuff like this a lot. And like being that I have a grandchild that's like 8 months old now, he absorbs a lot. You know what I mean? Because I mean they're in the learning stages for years, but
hmm
he's starting to be where he's like, he's got his favorite things he wants to see, and he likes Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. But if you turn on like Tom and Jerry or something, he'll sit there and watch it, man. So it's kind of like if you can catch them in their learning stages and showing them these things, then going forward that
Oh yeah.
kind of I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the you know, and I'm not, I hate bringing it up because, but we were talking about cartoons, but there's Strawberry Shortcake. It just got a new cartoon put out or whatever, and I've seen
hmm
a preview of it, and I, you know, and one of the characters in there is uh, is transsexual. It's called, and they're calling it Transberry, and I'm just like, and there's
Really?
also a non-binary character in there as well, and I'm just like, I I don't care what you guys do if you want to make an adult cartoon and want to involve that stuff, that's fine, but you're imposing your beliefs onto a kid that's just trying to watch something entertaining, and now they're you know going to be stuck. And actually, a lot of kids that watch that show probably don't even know what the fuck any of that is. So I
hmm
mean, yeah, so it's I don't know. It's just weird to me to.
It's too early to be
Right,
introducing
right.
that
I mean, like I
such a
said,
it's
my,
too
my
early.
my feelings on that is if you want to start introducing those things, it should be during adolescent ages where, you know, and it
Where
should
the
be in a health class,
yeah.
where they learn the truth about those things and not just what
Mhm.
somebody's opinion is on it. So,
Yeah. Let them learn about it during the time where they say their hormones are changing and they're confused in general. They're like, what the hell
right,
is happening to me?
right,
So I mean, that's probably a good time to address it because they got a lot of stuff going on then anyway. So I mean,
right.
but yeah, to doing it to infants and toddlers. I mean, what the hell? What do you think people are gonna think when they see that? I mean, come on,
Right.
it's
And,
just it's just ridiculous.
and like I said, if you got the thing that kills me is like you got so many people that are like, well, they do what they want to do or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but you're still like you're doing things out of, uh, I guess like you're the minority in what you're doing. You know, they try to act like it's a big thing, but it's really on the minute minority of people that are actually on board for stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
if you went and polled everybody in America, I'm sure you would come back with a
You
decent
would
amount.
you would probably come back
The
with
majority
this.
would be like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think the results would surprise a lot of people because you'll watch some of these news outlets and they'll be like, well, they'll frame it like the overwhelming majority of who? I mean, sure,
well,
if you
it's
go
just
out if you go out and seek out the demographic that you're hoping to pander to, yeah, sure, the overwhelming majority of
right.
that demographic can skew whatever poll you want to put up there. That's the thing.
Well,
But if you want.
that's just like we could go out right now and and be like, what do you think about Metallica? And we're gonna get, and if we just ask random people, we're gonna get mixed reviews about that. We already know that. We're expecting that. You know what I mean? But if you go out and just address people from the '90s era where the Black Album came out, you're probably gonna get more people to say, "Oh yeah, I love Metallica."
Hmm.
And that's just the thing. It's like you gotta, and that's another thing. I seen something the other day on one of the when I was looking through. Actually, I seen somebody. It was from last week, and we didn't really do much for last week, so it was kind of like, I guess we kind of like winged it last week pretty much, but
Yeah, we did.
for
Yeah.
the most part. So, hey, what's up, Kobe?
Colby, what's up, man?
Good friends from Halo Scars in the house. Love it.
Yes.
Those guys are actually working on some new music.
Yeah, they are.
Can't wait to hear what they got cooking.
Yep.
So
A little bit of a lineup change too. So.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they did find a new bass player. I didn't see that. So
No, I don't think they have yet.
okay,
No,
okay.
I don't think they have yet. But
Well, I mean, they can
all
still.
right. They have a pending lineup change. I should put it
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah. Well, I was going to say they can record. They can still record with
Oh,
with,
sure.
with Daniel doing bass and guitar
Yeah.
duties, I guess, for
Yeah.
the recording parts, and then
Mm-hmm.
if they wanted to. But you know how they are. They may have somebody already doing it, just hadn't sprung the news yet.
Uh
So,
huh. Yeah, that's true.
so any- anywho, it's kind of cool to that he's on here because I just seen where Valkyrie's Fire is finishing up their touches on the
Yeah.
lights are happening. We are being secret squirrels currently. Yeah.
Hey, you know what, man? We can definitely appreciate that, and not trying to, we're not trying to put any carts before any horses or anything. So just
No.
going to be a new lineup. Yep. So, you know,
Yeah, we know whatever you guys do is going to be killer. So
oh,
we're just ready for it. So,
absolutely.
man. Especially like the with the dual guitars, man, it made a big difference with them. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And like like I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think they got harder. I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm like damn, like I didn't think that was possible, but
But yeah, it's gonna be good to hear that and to hear Valkyrie's Fire's new stuff when it comes out. So
hey Kobe, we got a question for you. How many guitars does Jason own, and why does he like the orange one?
Old Faithful,
Oh, faithful.
Old Faithful. Anderson.
I always fuck with him. I see him. He's like, oh, a new guitar, and I said, I don't know why you bought that for. You're just going to use the orange one.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Radio friendly stuff and our heaviest music today. So, see, that's fine. That's a great balance, actually.
It is, and I think
That's
that's
a good
kind of
balance.
that's kind of like, I don't know. I guess that's kind of where you have to be at some.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I think at some point you know, I don't know. Like, I guess you can only say "fuck" on so many tracks to make it make it mean something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I guess at some point, like when we did a story, years back with Judas Priest, I didn't ever think about it until Rob Halford brought it up. It was just like, yeah, we've never had a cuss word that. We never had a cuss word in any of our music. And I'm just like, wait, what? And like it blew my mind and that Judas Priest didn't have any vulgar language in any songs. And I'm just like, man, that's wild, dude. And I had to go back and like, Google it. And then Google's like, yeah, no, not as far as they know. Look, searching the lyrics, we haven't found no vulgar
No,
content.
no profanity.
I'm
Yep.
like, wow, that's wild, dude.
Yeah.
especially
Plus
after how long they've been doing it and got away with doing it for that long.
50 plus years at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've just and Richie Faulkner has confirmed that they've just started
Yep.
recording the follow up to Invincible Shield. So it's
Yep.
yeah, sign me up for all of that, so that's fine.
Hmm. Kobe said, "Man has more guitars and amps than
More,
anyone."
yeah,
So
more guitars.
yes.
In yeah, and nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that's his.
He doesn't write any songs with swearing in it either. Yeah. You know what the
Well, I
funny
mean,
thing is.
well, I mean,
You know
I
the
don't think
funny.
you. I don't think you have to though to
No,
get
you
your
don't
point
have to.
across.
You don't. Yeah, you don't have to. And don't get me wrong. I have no problem with swear words in. I have
Well,
no
no.
problem with swear words in music. So I mean, stage show different. See, there you go. Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's the funny thing is when we went to see Judas Priest last year, and they were done with the show. Rob walked off, said, "We
Oh
are
yeah.
Judas. We are Judas fucking Priest." And like even I was like,
We both looked at each other. We're
"Yeah."
like,
He was
"Wait,
like,
what?
even was
Did he
like, "Wait a
just?"
minute." Yeah.
I think I asked you. I said, "Did he just say fucking?"
Yes, he did.
And you was
Yeah.
like, "Yes, he did." I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that's
That's the thing is, I mean, you know, you don't. I mean, it's obviously not a prerequisite to have it,
yeah."
and
Well,
it can and it can be overused. It really can.
and
And so you,
honest,
yeah, but
yeah, and honestly, I think speaking of the eras, I think it says more about Kobe right now than it does Rob Halford because I think Rob Halford can say, well, if we wanted to be any airplay on the radio, we have to be, you know,
hmm
we'd have to have a edited version or a clean version of whatever we're
yeah,
doing.
and you
So you
might as
might as
well
well just
just
you might as well just clean.
yeah,
I mean, and
just
Kobe saying he does that now, it says more about his personal
hmm
skills in doing that because with everything now, there's not much radio play you can do. So I
yeah,
mean, not many people listen to the radio anymore. So I mean, you're not really writing things for radio play. You're writing things for Spotify, and Spotify don't care.
yeah,
So
they don't give a shit. Yeah,
I mean, or
but
YouTube
still,
or
but
whatever the case.
but I mean, it still speaks to the content of character to have the ability to uh, not feel like you need to throw any profanity in there. And again, nothing wrong with profanity, nothing wrong with it at all. It's fine. I mean, hell, if I was a songwriter, I'm sure there would be plenty of profanity in mine. I mean, that's because that's just kind
Well,
of the way I like. If I was writing a song, I would probably put exactly how I feel in it, and yeah, I would probably throw some fucks and shits in there, and it wouldn't matter. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with either. Just like this whole thing, like I see on, I'll see on Facebook talking. There's this whole, and I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure Colby's seen it. I'm sure Jason, you've seen it. There's this whole thing where you got these groups of people on some of these Facebook pages where they're like, if anything's got clean vocals in it, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And that'll just, I mean, you're entitled to that view, but I mean, it's just so short-sighted. I mean, because of how much quality music there is with clean vocals, just like there's just as much quality music with growls and gutturals, whatever the hell you want to call it. Because I mean, hell, Colby sings both ways.
yeah.
Are you going to completely discount half of Colby's music because he goes, I mean, because he alternates between gutturals and
I mean,
growls and cleans and
you could
screams
say
and everything else? I
you could
mean,
say the same thing about the majority of metalcore bands, and if that's the case,
yeah,
because I
and
mean, a lot of them switch back and forth from.
exactly. So I mean, that just I don't understand the whole thing about. And don't get me wrong. I mean, being able to sing, gutturals or growls or like whatever the hell you want to call it. There's just as much talent in that as there is in being able to hit, some of those higher notes that you'll hear in power metals. I mean, you know, for fuck's sake, I mean, we all know what Rob Halford can still do in his 70s, what Tim
Yeah.
Ripper Owens can do in his 50s. So there's just as much talent on either end of the spectrum. So the whole thing about like, oh man, if it's got any clean vocals in it, I don't want to have anything to do with it. All right, well then you're shutting yourself out of a lot of music, a lot of good
Well,
music. So I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
to each their own, of course, absolutely to each their own. But
Well,
to me, that's just a very weird flex. If it's got clean vocals in it, I don't want anything to do with it. It's just a weird flex to me.
I don't know how many. I don't know how many like outside of just me and you that as far as like people that are into the music or whatever. But I haven't talked to many people that aren't like I guess like into multiple subgenres. I think most people most people are just like, hey, I always wrote open to interpretation, so it can be for anyone. Don't want to get tied up in any politics, etc. Obviously, I'll have a topic in mind, but it's written so everyone can relate. I like that. Yeah, I also say
Yeah, see,
getting
yeah, and
tied
that's
into
totally
politics, social constructs, etc. Just want people to enjoy the song anyway. And this is kind of what we talked about. You know, last week we were kind of talking about that, and then you hear some other people. Actually, I've commented on a thing I posted a while back about that. I said, I don't care to know that anything is like political. Like, I don't care to know that. Like, yes, you'll know some things are. Don't get me wrong, and some things in those songs are good. That's fine, but and I don't have to agree with the message you're sending either
yeah,
to
yeah.
listen to it. Sorry, I mean, I'll listen to it, but I don't have to agree with what you're saying.
Hmm.
But I still, will take the some Machine Head songs that we know are they were put out to be political. Even though I still like the song, I don't agree with the message, but I'll still like the song.
Yeah,
Uh,
Megadeth, same way. I
well,
mean,
yeah, I mean, you're
Dave,
going to
yeah,
have those.
Dave writes so many politically charged songs. I mean,
But and even if you agree or disagree, I mean, it's just enjoy the music, man. That's it's
yeah,
just it just gets tiresome
yeah,
to have to dig and like, I don't know. I think we've come to a age in society where we just pick everything apart. Like, it's just like
yeah.
like almost nitpicking it
Oh,
though. It's like,
it's yeah, it is. It's everything's put under a microscope and completely ripped apart. And the funny thing is, if somebody was so inclined, I mean, they could actually take the first. I mean, hell, we've been on the air for like 17 and a half minutes. So we just started, but I mean, if someone were so inclined, they could take the first 17 and a half minutes of this podcast and completely rip apart what we've talked about. Because I mean, we usually don't dive into this aspect of the music
right.
because it's we don't really don't give a shit because it is supposed to be a respite for us, you know. But someone could just pick up. Oh, you see what he said there at like 12 minutes and 19 seconds. You see, we told you. So I mean, it's like, come on, man. It's just honestly, I just wish I had that kind of fucking free time to be able to do that shit. It's like,
So
you don't have
this,
anything better to do?
yeah. So this is the thing. So I me. I told you guys I write lyrics a lot. A lot of times I'll
Hmm.
get something on my mind, and like I said, oh, that'd be a great song, and then I'll have a song in my head and I'll just start writing. Well, just say a title. I got this title I was working on recently was called First to Self Destruct. I mean, that could mean a lot of things. I mean, if you just look at the title, right? I mean, that could be, I could be talking about a war. I could be talking about, you know, anything. But I know what I was feeling when I wrote the song. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like Kobe saying he wrote that openly, so I can kind of interpret what it means to me. And I like that because I'd rather it be that way than for somebody to say, no, you're wrong. I'm just like, no, I'm not, because it's kind of open ended. so,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, so you kind of get into that argument, and somebody argue with me about, well, that just goes against the whole music thing, man. You're supposed to like, that, they wrote it for a specific reason, and you're supposed to listen to it that way. Like, no, I mean, not nobody's going to tell me how I'm supposed to listen to music. I mean, that's not how
Hmm.
this works. It's not how this works, my guy. It's like,
Definitely not how it should. So
well, no, yeah, like I said, it's a fine line, and I think Kobe's on to a good thing there, just to kind of
hmm.
stay partial and out of it, and lets everybody kind of if he has a political thing in mind, and he writes about it and keeps it kind of you know
I mean, not necessarily
mysterious, like
vague,
kind of
but yeah,
mysterious.
yeah,
So you're kind of like, hey, is he trying to? Nah.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
and then at least at that point, from that perspective, at least it's a little bit thought provoking. So
yeah, yeah. It's cool. I guess we'll probably be seeing another Halo Scars Valkyrie's Fire reunion pretty soon, since
hell, there's nothing wrong with that.
they're both working on records. So
Nothing wrong with that.
that'd be pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they seem to coexist pretty
Yeah,
well.
they
So
they've they vibe together well.
And that's what's crazy too. Is like you're talking about you know, a metalcore-ish type band. I guess you would say Halo Scars
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
compared to Valkyrie's Fire, which is symphonic metal. So you know that's what I'm saying. Like you hardly ever see kind of those kind of things going into a show together. You know what I mean? It's mostly kind of like you know. Well, actually, the shirt I'm wearing, Bleed from Within. When I seen them, it was like Bleed from Within and Trivium and or no, it wasn't. It was Bullet from a Valentine, Trivium, but yeah, Bleed from it. So I mean, you got the same kind of
Yeah. The same general. Yeah. The
yeah, same
same.
general genre. So I mean, it's like the only song I write that would be straightforward would be about McDonald's ice cream machine.
And there'll probably be some profanity in that song too.
That's the song's called Out of Order.
Called "Fuck Your McFlurry."
Oh man.
Oh God. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a probably safe bet that
Yeah.
will probably happen. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we better start going down the list of things here so we can get this thing rocking and rolling. So
Ugh.
birthdays was a little light this week. So
Well, here's the funny thing: is I'm not trying to jump too far ahead. Everything was light this week.
well, that is true.
Wasn't it
Yeah.
weird? You did notice that?
Yeah, I kind of like
It was.
the only thing that I really had was the stuff that I had posted on the page already. So
Yeah. So I mean,
I think I may have found one or two stories that wasn't really there.
yeah.
Most of it was so like I don't know. I guess most of it wasn't like really a story. Like when you open it up, it was like a
Yeah.
paragraph and that was it. So I mean, it's not
I
like
mean, that's all right. I mean, we have less
so
full
it's like,
stories
well,
and a
yeah,
little bit.
it becomes like a headline more than it
Yeah, a
does
little bit.
anything.
We have a few more headlines and we move on. That's okay.
All right, birthdays kicking off here for this past week. I started this one on March 30th because that's the first birthday that excuse me I ran into this week for
Oh,
some
that's weird. You went 2 full days. Wow,
went 2 full days. Yeah, I was like wow, like
that
eight.
doesn't happen often.
No, I went through both my sources and then through the Facebook group, and I was like, damn, I can't believe we didn't have anybody on those 2 days. That's wild.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah. Well, anybody that we know of, it's like if I'm, of course,
Right.
we're not following a certain band. Well, a lot of times too, we follow so many bands that we don't get every, because
That is
for
true.
for some reason they feel like they should, Facebook and all these things thinks they should control our feeds. Where, uh,
Hmm.
you know, it's like just show us everything, dude. We don't, in order when it happens. We don't care about, you know, anything else because like if I did a story from 3 weeks ago, well, it'll start showing up on your timeline because more people are reacting to it in those 3 weeks. So it becomes a more, more, I guess, a more popular story. So
Yeah.
they want to shoot it up the thing to making sure
Yep.
everybody gets to see the damn thing. Like, yeah, whatever. March 30th, Joey Castillo, drummer for Queens of the Stone Age, 2002 to 2012. And then we have Marco Fatis, drummer for Pestilence. March 31st, we had Angus Young, guitarist for AC/DC, Eric Turner, guitarist for Warrant, Toshia, bassist for During Gray, Ryan Matroka, drummer for our good friends at Valkyrie's Fire,
Yeah.
and Simon Keeler, vocalist for Onslaught. April 1st, we had Michael Paulson, singer guitarist for Volbeat, RJ Hale, drummer for Hailstorm, Richard Christie, drummer for Charred Walls of the Damned. Uh, April 1st, we had Barry Mabone. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Uh, it's so funny. I had so many birthday wishes that day. It's so funny. I'm like, dude, that's not my birthday.
I saw that.
Oh, yeah. April 2nd, Phil Demmel, guitarist for Machine Head from 2002 to 2018. And then, of course, Violence and currently Kerry King. Sasha Gerstner, guitarist for Freedom Call Halloween and for Halloween from 2002 to the present. April 3rd, we had Sebastian Bach, a singer for Skid Row. And, of course, you can catch him doing vocals on the Twisted Sister tour coming up. So,
Yeah, that's still so strange.
yeah. April 4th, Nigel Preston, drummer for The Cult. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1992. Mike Starr, bassist for Alice in Chains. Fortunately, he passed away in 2011. And then Adam Duckwitz, guitarist for Killswitch Engage. And that is all the birthdays I had this week.
Yeah.
So,
My
kind of short.
my father-in-law's birthday was on April 1st, so happy birthday to him. Yeah, so
Kobe likes your fuck your before.
yeah, you can Colby, you can use that too. Have that be the vocal lead into the breakdown. Fuck
Yeah.
your McFly.
That's what I tell since Kobe's on here, I want to mention this because I was kind of like I do this to all the bands that we know when I see them live. I was like, I did this to Vinny the other day a couple weeks ago when we seen him from Ashes Rain. He was just like, yeah, man, we got this and this going on. I said, man, I'm just waiting on y'all to get big and I can be head of security. Shit, that's all I'm waiting on. So,
Yeah.
I can't play nothing. I got to do something. Shit.
Right. Yeah. You want to be involved somehow. Yeah.
Which I could have did some stuff. I got a buddy of mine that does a lot of loading and unloading for bands and stuff when they come to town.
Yeah.
But he's a local stuff, but you still get to be backstage with him and stuff. So I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I think he is actually with a company that travels like that. Like the bands will hire them to move their stuff, and then they show up and it's already there and everything. And so I think they actually do travel with certain bands, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes the bands don't have their own crews; they just hire somebody to, hey, meet me here and here and here. Here's the schedule. We'll just make sure our shit's there.
Well, hell, that's fine because then you don't have to pay the travel expenses. So that's fine.
Yeah.
If you can, logistically, if you can work that out, then yeah, I could see why that would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And of course, you'll see. I see pictures of him sometimes hanging out with some bands or whatever because they have like a couple days in between, dates or whatever, and they're out. He's like, yeah, they don't know that I'm actually part of the crew, but here they are. And he's like taking a selfie and they're in the background, like they're just walking around town or wherever they're at.
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah.
funny.
Well, that's true too, because again, like if you've got a break, then if you hire someone local to be like, hey, where's a good place to eat or where's a good place to hang out, then yeah, you have a tour guide by default.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how that could be. Again, it just sounds like win-win,
Yeah. All right, I guess we can get into some news here, and of course, a lot of it
Yeah.
that you have is not
Yeah.
good.
No, a lot of it is not going to be good news, and I hate that, but it just
Well, we've had a couple.
how it is sometimes.
We've had a
but-
couple of weeks where we didn't have anything, and then we had Ross the Boss last week.
Yeah.
Again, our condolences to all
Yeah,
of them.
man,
That's
yeah.
what a legacy that guy left behind, though, man. It'll
Oh,
be
God,
forever.
Yeah.
It'll be forever in the metal community and around the world. So he definitely left a mark
Yeah.
on the world for sure. So
Yes, he did. All right, so leading off with this first one over at the PRP this week, Boy Sets Fire have issued a statement regarding the passing of their co-founding member, Matt Krupansky. In a social media post issued on March 28th, the post-hardcore group offered the following of his death. Quote, "We hate to write this. Today, the BSF family lost one of our founding members, our drummer, Matt Krupansky. Words are failing us. Snapshots of memories skitter through our mind. Picking him up for our first tour from high school, which his parents had to give permission to leave early. Writing ATE and Rookie in his parents' basement. Smoking cigars on the beach in North Carolina after playing a very misleading bed and breakfast. No bed, no breakfast. His weird-ass drummer gang with Tucker from Thursday, Mike from The Souls, and Brandon from Rise Against. Abusing Tony Victory's open bar tab in Chicago, our intense Madden games which often led to near violence, not even kidding. Matt playing guitar in Pussy Tim and the Motherfuckers, a side project that wasn't real at what we thought was a sparsely attending festival, but when the lights came up there were 25,000 people there. There is so much more. We are so fucking sorry, George. We are so sorry, Carla. We are so sorry, Mark and Melissa. Our heart breaks for his daughter Georgie. We are so sorry. We are gutted. Our hearts are shredded. We lost a brother today. We are planning on a fundraiser for Georgie, maybe for college or whatever the family needs. Matt, you are missed, and we love you. BSF." End quote. Krupansky performed with the band from their 1994 inception up until their 2007 breakup. He would rejoin the group for their reunion in 2010 through 2012, with his brother Mark playing on bass alongside him during that stint. So, if and when said fundraiser is posted, we will let you guys know about that. So
Yeah,
No,
it's
no age or cause of death. So
cause of death, and
yeah,
it's 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 like I said, one of not to get ahead, but that's one of a few today. So
yep.
unfortunately, but it is. Let's see. This one isn't. I guess not really good news either. It's not good news, but it's not a death. But it's a kind of a
Yeah.
messed up incident. So over from Metal Hammer here. Former Turnstile guitarist Brady Ebert has been charged with attempted second-degree murder and first-degree assault after being arrested for allegedly driving his car at Turnstile frontman Brendan Yates' 79-year-old father. According to a report in the Baltimore Banner, Montgomery County Police were called to a property in Silver Spring, Maryland last night. Well, this was actually April 1st, where they found William Yates in the front yard with trauma to his lower extremities. Yates was brought to the MedStar Washington Hospital Center for treatment. Members of the Yates family told police that Brady Ebert, who co-founded Turnstile with Brendan Yates, Sean Cullen, Franz Lanz, and Daniel Fang in 2010, drove to the property on Timber Lake Drive, honked his horn, and yelled obscenities before intentionally hitting William Yates with his vehicle. Ebert, 33, of Silver Spring, was taken into custody and remains in custody, pending a bail review hearing to be held at 1 p.m. local time at the District Maryland Court Montgomery office, which I think that's already happened. So the guitarist parted ways with Turnstile in August of 2022. Following today's news, Turnstile have issued the following statement to the Rolling Stone. Quote, Turnstile cut ties with Brady Ebert in 2022 in response to a consistent pattern of harmful behavior affecting himself, the band, and the community. After exhausting every available resource to support his access to the help and recovery, a boundary ultimately had to be set when healthy communication was no longer possible, and he began threatening violence. In the years since, his baseless tirades have continued in public. We never addressed it. We chose to protect his privacy and the circumstances around his departure, even when he did nothing to be deserving for that protection. Over the past few months, his threats only escalated further. We have no language left for Brady. End quote. In February, Brady was fired from his most recent band, The Set, Self-Evident Truth, after writing a social media post accusing Turnstile of bandwagon jumping on liberal political issues and also financial mismanagement in regards to his time in the band. The guitarist also claimed that his former bandmates were falsely seeking to secure a restraining order against him. Following his post, the SCT set, I guess is what it's supposed to be, but responded by sacking Ebert, writing on Instagram, Brady is no longer a member of the set. We will not stand his ridiculous comments and behavior toward the members of our band and our community. So,
Piece of work, this guy.
man, he's definitely got some stuff going on that he needs to get took care of. That's just some crazy shit, man. Like, how do how do you how do you run down a 79-year-old man? Jesus Christ! Like, I can understand if it was the other guy that you were mad at, but you're just this guy's an innocent bystander just because
Right.
he
Yeah.
was part of the birthing process for a guy that you can't stand. That's just fucked up, man. It's like,
Yeah.
you know that's like
I mean, that's just. I mean, that's just so. And this is gonna sound strange the way I say it, but it's just such a passive aggressive way to go about having a beef with a guy.
well, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because I mean, if and I mean that and what I mean by that is like you got a problem with somebody, take it to that person.
yeah.
Doing anything else to not directly confront that person is passive aggressive. Now
Well, he's
I know that's super duper aggressive,
yeah,
trying to run down his dad with a car. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, if you're
yeah.
doing something to try to hurt this guy, but you're not doing it to him directly, then yeah, by definition, that's passive aggressive. I mean, you're too chicken shit to confront the person head on. So I mean,
Well, I mean, it looks like he's got a history here,
yeah, it definitely sounds.
obviously. So it's not. I don't think there was no talking to the guy. I mean, he's you know, kind of feel like he's off the rails here.
Yeah,
So,
well, for Christ's sake, at this point, he's been fired for two bands from being Looney Tunes. So I
well,
mean,
yeah. So I mean, good luck finding work from here on out. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
well, I mean, I guess I can't say that. Tim Labesis is still.
That that's true. That's true. I mean, never say never. That's for sure.
Yeah,
But the thing is, at least at least Tim Lambesis appears like he's, now don't get me wrong, not condoning anything Tim's done in the past or relatively recently, because we talked about what his ex-wife accused him of doing and everything. So I
Hmm.
mean, we know that he's not perfect, but it at least on the surface appears that he's at least trying to do better.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that respect. At least he appears to at least genuinely want to try. You know, I
I'll
mean,
say this about her though. I mean, you already knew about him and how he was, and then you were provoking the guy. Like, come
that's
on,
true.
man.
That's not
That's like
that's
you
not
should.
really fair.
Yeah. You should have fucking knew not to provoke him. He's already fucking wild. Like,
Yeah,
uh, you
that
know.
is true.
It's
That's a
better,
good point. That's a good point.
if that was if they were in those situations, she should have just packed up and left and just, from
Yeah,
the get go, and then, but
I
no, she
agree.
stayed and provoked it, and you know, it wound up being like a bigger story than it should have been. So,
Yeah.
you know, but that's kind of, kind of goes back to well, this opposite story with Johnny Hawkins from Nothing More, where his, ex, fiance was so and like she was trying to put it back on him, but then like people that weren't even like in the band, just like, security detail or whatever that's for the band would be like, yeah, I mean, we've had to take her out of like plenty of places where she got out of hand, and you know it was embarrassing for Johnny, and I was just like, wow, that's not the stories you're used to
Yeah.
used to seeing on the on any of those sites. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a reverse, model, I think,
Uh-huh.
in his case. But I don't
Yeah.
know. He seems like he's bounced back pretty good and is happy now,
Yeah.
so that's good for him.
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
what
that, yeah,
happened.
that,
I don't
well,
know what happened to her, but
yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I mean, it's good for Johnny, and it's good for, if Tim Lambesis' ex-wife, if she's happy now, good for her. Good for
yeah, I mean, I
Johnny.
don't
I
think.
mean, anyone who's ever in a situation like that, whether it's the man or the woman, because I mean, there's plenty of, I mean, of course, we know how many crazy people there are in general, but I mean, it's not all men. It's
Yeah,
mostly men. It's probably a 9-to-1 ratio. Out of every 10, it's probably 9 of them are men and 1 of them are women. But I mean, women have their issues too.
oh
And
yeah,
for people out there to say, well, women can't be abusers, God, that's so short-sighted. That's
right.
so short-sighted that women can't be abusers, because of course there can. And if a man is in that situation and he gets out, just like when a woman gets out, it's just as good for him as it is for her when she's able to get away. So anyone who's able to escape an abusive situation, it's a good thing for whoever that is. All right, moving on to my next one. Staying over at the PRP. James Lawler, the mastermind behind dark synthwave outfit Ghost, has died. A statement issued on the social media of the 46-year-old musician was shared on April 2nd, revealing that Lawler's death occurred on April 1st. That statement reads as follows. Quote, the whole Gost team is incredibly saddened to inform you that James Cody Lawler, known as Gost, passed away yesterday. We are sending all our prayers to his family and friends during this time of grief. He will be remembered as a wonderful human being and a tremendously talented artist. We kindly ask that everyone respect the privacy of his loved ones during these difficult times. He will be deeply missed by all, end quote. And that while that was a short statement, there is a GoFundMe that has one. Well, is it a GoFundMe? I do know that yep, it is a GoFundMe. Yeah. The crowdfunding campaign has been launched to assist the family with his final expenses and is available now via GoFundMe. The following was said on the campaign page. Let's see. Many have asked how they can support his family or show their condolences during this devastating time. In lieu of flowers, if you feel moved and are able, you are welcome to support by donating to help cover his final expenses and ease the financial burden on his family during this difficult time. Any contribution, no matter the amount, is deeply appreciated. If you're unable to give, sharing this page or keeping his family in your thoughts means just as much. And said GoFundMe is currently at, as of right now, it is at $20,089 of a $22,000 goal. So, I
Almost
mean,
there.
it's 92, yeah, 92% of the way there. So, you know, and let's see, when, I guess this is only, it, it doesn't sit. when does it say it was started?
Well, it had to be within
Well,
the week.
created 2 days ago. Yes, I mean, in 48 hours, you're talking about almost
That's wild.
21k. Yeah, almost 21k raised. In in 48 hours. So I mean, you can't really argue with that. So, but yeah, final expenses can get out of hand. So yeah, anything you may or may not be able, or anything you may be able to provide. Like I say, if you can't provide monetarily, then just spread the word. Again, no age or cause of no cause of death. He's 46 years old,
Yeah,
so but no
46.
cause of death. So yeah, 46.
Well, my next one here's a little shorter. So I know what you're thinking, and no, it's not a late April Fool's joke. This is very real. It seems that Sweden has a new face in the war against waste. None other than Eurovision conquering Finnish heavy metal monster band Lordi. The Swedish
Yep.
recycling organization Panamera has announced that Lordi will head up its campaign for 2026, with the Finns even releasing a special single to mark the occasion. The track, suitably titled Pantamera, is a reimagined version of a classic folk song from Cuba, originally written to celebrate Cuban culture and solidarity with its people. Again, I promise I'm not making this all up. Luckily, Lordy frontman Mr. Lordy is on hand to explain how this all ties together. The Lordy version of Pantomera is exploring the similarities between recycling and horror in general. He states, for example, Frankenstein's monster and zombies are recycled flesh and bones. Okay, well, there you got it. Not that he kind of, you know, explained anything, but
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting parallel, but sure.
yeah, so all right. Did you had more?
I've got one more, yeah. All right. So again, over at the PRP, Bo Luders, co-host of Hard Lore and guitarist for Harm's Way, has passed away. His death was announced on April 2nd in a post by the Hard Lore podcast. While the cause of death was not revealed, the below post shared revealing his untimely death mentions help for those struggling with depression and urges to self-harm. Quote, it is with heavy broken hearts that we share that our beloved Bo Luders has passed away. He will be remembered for his unwavering empathy and compassion for his friends and family and his magnetic, inimitable presence on and off the stage. We kindly ask for grace and privacy as we navigate this extremely difficult time. For those struggling with depression or urges to self-harm, help is always available. We are not in this alone. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline number is 988, end quote. And on that note, there is also a crowdfunding campaign. Let's see. I want to make sure that it's actually, because I know GoFundMe isn't the only one, so I want to make sure I have but yeah, GoFundMe. Fans and friends opened their wallets to support the family of late Hard Lore co-host and Harm's Way guitarist Bo Luders on April 3rd. The latter passed away unexpectedly yesterday, with his death sending ripples of shock and grief throughout the hardcore and metalcore scenes. While many of his peers have come forth to mourn him on social media, earlier today his Hardlore co-host Colin Young stepped up with his crowdfunding campaign. The aim behind it was to raise funds for the final expenses and cover the cost of an upcoming memorial service to honor his late friend. Within hours, that campaign had well exceeded its initial goal of $60K, ultimately raising a staggering $164,000 before Young opted to end the campaign. Young has since announced that the funds not used to cover the intended cost will go towards a good cause. The current plan is to make donations, presumably in honor of looters, to mental health services in the late musician's native Chicago area. That's an awesome thing. In a statement shared tonight, Young said of those plans, quote, "Thank you all so much for taking the time to read and to donate. It means the world to me and Bo's family and friends. I went for a walk immediately after creating this page, and by the time I looked at my phone again, you all had exceeded the goal tenfold. With the donation goal automatically updating throughout that duration, I quickly rounded down the current amount to end the goal, and then you all just kept donating. We cannot thank you enough for this beautiful outpouring of love and support for our sweet Bo throughout these darkest of days. We've decided to stop any future donations and guarantee that the large portion of what has been donated will be redistributed to various mental health services in the Chicagoland area. Thank you all, Colin," end quote. And the final tally to the to the to the shit. I went blank there for a second. For the fundraiser, did stop at $164,773 of a $60,000 goal. So more than double, by like 1.5 times. You're talking about $104,000 extra raised for the final expenses and everything else. So I mean that's an amazing thing that you guys did. Any of you, any and all of you who were able to donate to that fundraiser for Bo after he unexpectedly passed away. Again, no cause of death, and I don't know how old he was. I want to say that I read somewhere that he was in his late 30s, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So please don't quote me on that. Either way, definitely taken far too soon, I would say. So yeah. All right, so let's do some things here. Since Jason has stepped out for a minute, so let me do some headlines here. Let's see. Evanescence is looking to drop some new music next week, so some Evanescence fans, you guys got that to look forward to. Let's see. What else do we got? Now, Michael Amott from Arch Enemy and Kiko Loureiro have been talking shit to each other about a supposed copyright infringement claim levied by Kiko Loureiro against Arch Enemy. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure we haven't heard. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of that. Let's see what else we got going on. What do we got going on?
Oh, sorry.
200 stab wounds have hit the studio for their next album. Dogma has a music video out for their new single Fate on Blinds. I got done reading my last story, so I was going through some
Oh,
headlines.
okay.
So
Yeah. I got one more over at Metal Injections, my last
okay,
one.
all good.
We kind of following this story a couple weeks, and so it's kind of gotten to a conclusion, I think, here, so we can stop talking about this one. So, Latin metal veterans El Nino have addressed the sudden departure of guitarist Xander Raymond Charles, issuing a joint statement to clarify the circumstances behind the split. Charles had initially revealed on March 22nd that he had been let go from the band just weeks before his first scheduled show, calling the move a total shock after months of commitment. Quote, in the beginning of 2026, I was hired by the band El Nino to become a permanent replacement and the newest member. Last night I received a call telling me they no longer needed me as a replacement. This was a total shock as I was committed for several months and the first show was 3 weeks away. I was informed this decision was completely out of my control and I had nothing to do with it. As of today, I am available for work. If anyone needs a guitar player, I'm here. I keep my word and I commit to what I agreed to. Lastly, there is no bad blood and I understand this is strictly a business decision. I wish El Nino nothing but the best. End quote. Now, in a follow-up statement released March 31st, both parties have moved to shut down speculation, framing the split as a logistical issue rather than a personal or professional fallout. Quote, we would like to clear the air regarding the events of the past week following a last-minute lineup change that impacted Xander Raymond Charles's touring schedule. Both parties have met to resolve this matter professionally. El Nino has decided to continue with their current touring lineup and schedule. The decision was based on a scheduling conflict and is in no way a reflection of Xander's talent, character, or professionalism. We are moving forward with mutual respect and no hard feelings. Xander shared El Nino is a legendary band, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. Both parties wish each other nothing but success moving forward. End quote. Charles also reiterated the internet behind the statement. Noting it was released to avoid any gossip and set the record straight. The guitarist had only recently joined the band earlier this year as a touring member, making the abrupt nature of the split all the more surprising, though both sides now appeared keen to emphasize that the decision was purely circumstantial rather than contentious. So,
Okay, well that's a good thing.
yeah, so it's just,
Because
I mean,
hell, that just means that at some point, hell, they could probably come back around and
yeah,
work together again. So yeah, it's obviously it's always good to hear that when there's any lineup change in a band that it's that it's not because of any animosity. It's always
Right.
always good to hear because I mean just we know like in the instance of Halo Scars, it's just hey one of the members of the band is moving on with their with their education, and it's just
Yeah.
gonna not it's just gonna take time away from the band, and it's just like hey man, it's like so I mean to quote Jurassic Park, life finds a way. So I mean,
Right. Yeah.
sometimes it happens.
And which John from Halo Scars had a lot of things happen in his life the past couple of years. So it's
Oh yeah,
his wife passed, and then now he's decided to pursue his doctorate in his line of field of work. So good for him. So
and I mean, and who's going to be upset? Who's going to be upset with somebody taking time out to further their education?
right. I
I
mean,
mean,
it
come on,
shouldn't.
man. That's what I mean. I mean, you know, just gonna be a miserable bastard to be pissed off at somebody if like, oh hey man, you're gonna go learn more stuff. Okay, fine, you're gonna be a dick. All right, so I mean, that's not the way you want to look at that. So
You're leaving the band, you fucking nerd.
you fucking nerd. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's not really the stance you want to take.
Yeah, it's
No.
and then okay, other headlines. I don't know how many what all you covered, but I had a list of stuff here. If I repeat it, I'm sorry. But
Yeah, that's fine.
Alice Cooper announces new guitarist Anna Cara replacing Nita Strauss on current tour because Nita and her husband are expecting a baby.
That's right.
So
And Nita actually recommended her. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Alice Cooper was kind of stoked about it when he heard her play too. He was just like, "Oh
yeah.
man, that's great." Resurrected prog metal heroes Nevermore won't play the U.S. in 2026, unfortunately, even though they are torn overseas right now. So,
Mm.
Guns N' Roses keyboardist Melissa Reese bows out of the world tour due to personal reasons. I'm not sure. I didn't read into that, so I'm not sure what the personal reasons were, but probably had something to do with Axel.
I mean, odds are low, but never zero with
You brought
Axel.
and you brought this one up earlier where Judas Priest is recording their new album. So
Yeah.
ex King Diamond members explain why they reunited as Lex Legion. Necrot signs to Metal Blade is working on their new album.
Yep.
68 announces final album ahead of their farewell tour.
Yep.
Ringworm vocalist has almost reached $10,000 in crowdfunding goal for medical expenses. I don't know if that's not the one we talked about, right?
No.
No, I think there was. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's just like so much crowdfunding going on here
Yeah.
this
No.
week. I can't
Yeah.
keep up.
That was a different one. Yeah.
San Diego Padres Mason Miller made Korn's "Blind" his new entrance song. I think that's
Oh.
pretty.
Oh. It's funny that you brought that up because I saw something on. I'm wanting to say I saw it on Facebook where Joel Osteen, that TV evangelist,
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
mega
yeah, yeah.
that dumb fuck. He I saw on Facebook where he implored the San Diego Padres to stop playing that death metal song when that pitcher got to walk up to the mound.
Oh, whatever, dude.
Fucking idiot! I can't stand that guy.
He's a piece of work, I tell you.
He's a piece of shit, is what he is.
He's one of those people that give Christians a bad name, dude.
Yeah, he's that jackass who like didn't open his church during that hurricane or whatever it was, or that I can't remember if it was a hurricane, but it was some sort of a natural disaster that was going on, and he like didn't lend any help to anybody. Like people were displaced, and he didn't, he wouldn't take anybody in. That was that guy.
Like I remember like reading that, and then I seen some pictures where they said, "Oh, well, his church is flooded too." And I don't know what was true, what wasn't. I wasn't there, but it was. I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of one of those things where the media puts out whatever they want to put out to give them clicks. So
Well, I can't. I
you
can't.
never. I say
I
half
can't.
the
I
time.
can't stand the guy. I can't stand
Well,
him.
I don't like it either. But half the time I like open up like stuff, and I'm like, I don't. I say, hell, who knows if that shit's even true? But y'all are in here like getting. The bad thing is, if people in the comments are getting worked up on each other over something that
True.
may not even be true.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just like y'all are fighting over some shit that may not even be true, man. Like y'all
Yeah, that's true.
piece
You're
of
right about
work,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Then let's see. Nevermore also pulled out of festival appearances due to issues with U.S. work permits. I think that's probably why they're not playing in the U.S. tour dates. But surprise there. It's like I think that's one of the things. I hope if they cut workers, I hope it wasn't there because there was already a shortage there, evidently because of the stuff that we know personally, where
Mm-hmm.
bands have had to like dude from Hidden and Ten had to expedite his shit just to get over here to tour,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, this is ridiculous, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you got that many people that are trying to do work over here, that kind of to me that defeats the purpose of what this country was built on. I mean, that's kind of what when you first, like, I know for a fact, like my family history is, when the first settler of my family came over, he tried to come over 3 times before he got to stay, because
Mm-hmm.
they ask you what are you going to provide for the land.
Yeah.
Are you going to farm it? Are you going to build stuff? What are you going to do to ensure that we have a future here? It wasn't like, hey, we're going to pay you $50 a day to do anything. That wasn't how it worked then. It was like, hey, what can you contribute to this land? So, if at some point, I don't remember what he did. Honestly, I can't remember, but that was 5 generations ago.
Right. Yeah. This is a little while
but
back. Yeah.
but anyway, he kind of came over. Then he had to wait two years, I think, almost before his wife and kids got to come over and join him. So, which is kind
Right.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
wild to even think. But you had to come over here. You had to put your blueprint into the America, and then you could bring your family with you. But you had to
Mm-hmm.
prove
Prove your
yourself
worth.
here,
Yeah.
yeah, before you could get your family here, which is kind of wild. But
Yeah.
and nowadays, and I think that's one of the things that bothers me about nowadays. People are just saying, "Oh, well, you can't separate." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, motherfucker, they've been doing it since
Mm-hmm.
1796. So I don't know what the hell you're
Yeah.
talking about. Well, before then, I mean,
Yeah.
even
Shit. Well,
14.
shit. I mean, but before I moved down here in 1993, I mean, hell, my dad got the job down here at Saturn, and he had to come down here.
Yeah,
I
right,
mean, they gave him a start date, and he had to come down here. So I mean, hell, we were separated for a little while. I mean, my dad came down here, and he started the job and everything because they're like, hey, if you want this job, this is when we start, and this is just it is what it is. So, he came down to Tennessee ahead of us, and my mom was getting the house buttoned up, and
right.
trying getting the house on the market and everything, and she had the three of us. Of course, I was 15, and my sister, we weren't like little kids. I was 15, Tracy was 14, and
Right.
my brother was 11. So I mean, we could still help. I mean, so my mom wasn't helpless, but hell, my parents didn't, we didn't see my dad for a few months, ahead of it. But I mean, we survived, but I mean, but it's like these people who were like, oh, if Trump gets elected, I'm just going to move to Canada. It's not that easy. When
Right.
you try to emigrate to Canada, they do the same thing. It's like, well, if you want to come here, do you do anything that's worth a shit that's going to provide anything to Canada? So you can't just show up in Canada be like, hey, I live here now. They're going to be like, no, you don't. So I mean, it's just
And I always hate that too.
it's
It's just like people say that stuff and just like, why don't you just move and not tell us when you're there. We don't care about you. We don't care that you're gonna move.
right.
Just
Well, I
announce it when you're
mean,
there.
of course, we all know that with
Shit.
most things, the people who make the most noise are the most full of shit.
Well, yeah,
It's just like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It was like, no, you're not, because all you're doing is making noise about it. If you were going to do X, Y, and Z, you would have just done it and not felt the need, like you say, just not felt the need to keep talking about it. Just do it.
I
You
mean,
know,
it's
so
kind of like the same.
because that's the attention people want. They make the noise to get the
Yeah.
attention. They're not making the noise because they're going to do the thing. They're making noise so people will pay attention to them. So that's
Well,
what.
that's kind of goes back to people that talk about suicide. People that talk about it usually aren't the ones that do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, most people who do it, they're like, "Oh, I never even saw it coming." It's exactly because they were
yeah,
they were
because
they were dealing with demons internally, and they didn't want
right,
anybody to know.
and they didn't talk about it. So,
Yeah, Robin Williams is like a perfect example.
oh man, that's just like That's a perfect example of thinking that somebody is happy with everything that goes on in their life, and
Hmm.
then boom, you know,
Yeah.
he had
Yeah. So that's the thing
a
is,
lot of stuff going on that he probably didn't talk about. I mean,
yeah.
well, the thing is, he probably didn't have time to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because he was always doing something, entertaining, or maybe that was his way of getting, that maybe that was his way of not talking about it. Was as long as he was working and
Well,
entertaining, then
sure.
he did, he didn't have, he felt like, that kind of got him out of his depression.
Yeah, of
And then
course.
if he was in a point to where he wasn't doing anything, then the
Yeah,
voice start talking, and then next thing you
absolutely.
know, you're talking about Robert Williams dead at
Yep.
whatever. I don't even remember how old he was.
63, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he was, he probably would still be here. If that
Oh, yeah.
he'd be 80 years old. But I mean,
At this point, he'd be pushing 80. But yeah, so, but yeah, so just out of nowhere. Yeah.
all right. Other stories. Gloria Cavalera, manager of Soulfly and Cavalera Conspiracy, launches a new publishing company. So
Very
that
cool.
was, yeah. So man, she's just still like working her ass off. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, no
Hell yeah.
nonstop, man. Like. GoFundMe for Bo Lurda's memorial service garners more than $141,000. I don't know if you caught that part or not.
Yeah, I added that onto the end of the story when I
Okay,
read it,
okay,
and
I didn't
the
know.
his co-host of the podcast that they did together, he cut the fundraiser off at 164,377. That's where it ended.
Wow,
Yeah, and he
wow,
said that anything that isn't used for the final expenses and all that stuff is going to be donated to mental health to the mental health field in the
great. That's
Chicago
awesome.
area. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I think that's well, that's kind of one of the things. Me and like I said, my wife being in the psychology field right now, we're talking about things that we normally wouldn't talk about. So she's actually was doing a paper about brain transplants, believe it or not. So, and she says, if that ever is successful, we will wind up increasing our life expectancy by probably 40, 50 years. You know,
Oof.
yeah, which is crazy to think about. So you're gonna have the average person living to be like 110 or something, probably. Uh,
Yeah, if that happens, I'll probably have to work until I'm like 98.
well, yeah, oh, yeah, they're gonna raise that. Yeah, they're gonna raise everything for sure.
Oh shit.
You're right. Social Security definitely won't be a thing.
No, no.
No. Woman allegedly stalking Ghost frontman Tobias Forge was charged.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that's if she was actually doing that and charged, then good for her. So I guess she'll have her day in court. I guess we'll probably follow up with that at some point.
Yep.
Vomit Forth signs with Pure Noise Records.
Cool.
Crowbar's Kurt Winstein says band is anxious to get back to work on new music. So look forward to that.
There you
Maybe
go.
hope probably next year at this point. I would think, but.
Yeah.
Funebrarum, I guess, is to release their first new album in 17 years. So
Oh damn.
17. I mean, there's been a lot of this going on. I
Yeah.
think recently, 17. I think one thing was like 30 something, wasn't it? Like we just did something about a band that was
Yeah.
like 30 something years before a new album. Like, damn,
Yeah. I remember the story. I don't remember the band, but yeah.
it's crazy. And that was everything that I had for the news
Nice.
of the week. And then just give us
Very
some
nice.
hitting the road. And I didn't put anything. I didn't see a lot for hitting the road, so
No, I mean there
I kind of
wasn't
I
there
kind of
wasn't
left.
a lot.
I
So
kind of said,
yeah.
well, I won't take any thunder. I just like
That was it's just I mean it's totally fine. Yeah, there's not a lot. So for the hit in the road this week, for the 28th through the 3rd, we have Wage War, Never Tell, and Orthodox going on a U.S. tour starting April 28th in Tucson, Arizona at the Van Buren, finishing May 31st in St. Petersburg, Florida at Janus Live. Stick to Your Guns is going over to Europe with Terrorizer, D's Nuts, Heavy Hitter, and Peace of Mind appearing at select dates on varying lineups, starting July 25th in Innsming, France at Moshell Festival, finishing August 29th in Ludenscheid, Germany at the Bots Festival. Elagayon, Gorod, and Abysmal Dawn are going to Europe and to the UK, starting September 4th in Grenoble, France at Lampridge, finishing September 25th in Cologne, Germany at the Euroblast Festival. Signs of the Swarm are going to Europe and to the UK with Bleed From Within, Of Mice and Men, Thy Art Is Murder, Fit fit for an autopsy. Chelsea Grin, Heavy Hitter, and Extermination Dismemberment making appearances at select dates on varying lineups, starting July 31st in Brasov, Romania at the Rockstadt Extreme Fest, finishing August 22nd in Bad Dürkheim, Germany at Fallen Fortress. Alpha Wolf, Psycho Frame, Fox Lake, and Diamond Construct are going to our Europe and to the UK. Starting October 8th in Karlsruhe, Germany at Substage, finishing October 31st in Göppingen, Germany at Corefest. Baby Metal, Hailstorm, and Violent Vera are going out on a North American tour starting September 2nd in Denver, Colorado at Ball Arena, finishing October 3rd in Sacramento, California at Aftershock Festival. Brat is going over to Europe. No word yet on any openers. Starting July 25th in Arctic, Germany at Freiburg im Breisgau. Finishing August 8th in Oslo, Norway at Vaterland Bar. Boundaries is going to Europe and to the UK with Kubla Khan, Texas, Barry Tomorrow, Malevolence, The Plot and You, Harriot, and Rain City Drive making appearances at select dates. Starting June 5th in Berlin, Germany at Hole 44 featuring Kubla Khan, Texas. Finishing June 27th in Munster, Germany at Vainstream. And lastly, President, Zenobia, and Showing Teeth are going on a North American tour starting September 4th in Nashville at Brooklyn Bowl, finishing October 14th in Dallas at the House of Blues.
Nice.
And that was it for Hitting the Road this week. That was it.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, it was. I kept looking. I was like, God, is this really it?
I know. It's kind of like, kind of like everything this week was kind of short and sweet. So.
Yeah.
I guess it'll probably heat up for long because there'll be a lot of more fall tours probably planned coming up. So
yeah, the summer is right around the corner, and a lot of these bands already have like festival appearances and stuff announced and stuff like that. So yeah, I figure you're probably right. Coming out of once festival season actually gets up and running, you probably hear a lot more of these bands setting stuff up for the fall and maybe the beginning of 2027. So yeah, I think you're right.
All right, that will take us into our theme of the week, which probably is going to be short and sweet too.
Yeah, this is gonna be our shortest playlist in a long time.
Yeah, I think
I only wound
up with 13. So
I barely made it to 10.
Wow. So yeah,
I barely made it to 10. So this is going to be our. I would have to look, but I'm willing to bet that this is going to be our shortest playlist since we decided to move away from the top 10 and just make it the actual theme of the week. Yeah. This is probably going to be our shortest playlist since then.
Yeah. Our theme of the week this week was top and bottom.
Yep.
So I had the top portion of this. So I had to kick it off with Scorpions, Don't Stop at the Top, Savage Amusement 1988. They had Five Finger Death Punch, Top of the World from Injustice for None for 2018. Pyrokanda, Top Gun from Two Sides of a Coin 2017. White Skull, Top Secret, the 8, I think that's what it said, 8 X1, yeah, 8, the 8 Skull 2020. Battle Beast, Over the Top from Battle Beast 2013. I had Raven, Top of the Mountain from Metal City 2020. Backlash, Over the Top, Colossus 2021. Bullet, Heading for the Top from the same titled album in 2006. Motley Crue, Take Me to the Top from Too Fast for Love 1981. Probably kind of the song that kind of put them on the map too, I think. So I think that's
arguably.
I think that's the song that we were singing when they, the big brawl broke out with it.
Oh God, I'd have to go back and look.
I think so. I think that's the song that they kind of gave them that reputation of being, fighting and stuff. So,
yeah.
Then we had AC/DC, It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll from High Voltage 1976. And Hate, Top of the Chain from Metal Forever 2007. Then I had Crookus to the Top, One Vice at a Time 1982. And I had Obituary, Back on Top, Inked in Blood 2014. And just because I love this band, I had to figure out a way to put them in here. Malevolence, Above All Else, because if you're above all else, then you're on top.
There you go.
Malicious Intent 2022. And that will wrap it up. That's all I had. So.
All right. Well, then for my contribution, such as it is, leading off with Bottom Feeder by Anvil off Back to Basics from 2004. We had Bottom Line by Kylesa off To Walk a Middle Course from 2005. We had Bottom Feeder by Once Human off Scar Weaver from 2022. And then, you can't have you can't have this theme without having this song. Got Big Bottom by Spinal Tap off their self-titled album from 1984. You can't not do it. I was half tempted to throw Fat Bottom Girls on here, and I just might do it. Who knows? Then we had The Bottom from our friends in The Dude from Buttercup in 2018. We had Bottom End by Tokyo Blade off Black Hearts and Jaded Spades from 1985. From the Bottom by All Out War from Condemned to Suffer from 2003. Bet Your Bottom Dollar by Bonfire off Double X from 2006. Welcome to the Bottom by Flotsam and Jetsam off Unnatural Selection from 1999. Then my last one was Bottom from Tool off of Undertow from 1993.
Well, that's gonna be a little interesting mix of
Definitely,
stuff there. Yeah.
yeah, definitely an interesting mix. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah,
Well, I guess that will take
shortest
us.
one we've had in a minute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I guess that'll take us into our album reviews. I guess.
Yeah, already.
Already, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
kind of that's what I said. It's kind of like we even bullshitted a little bit in the beginning.
We did.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I mean that just tells you how things were this week. You just
Yeah.
not a lot going on. So
Yeah, we didn't really officially start the show until 20 minutes in.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess which is a good thing that there's not a lot going on, but the stuff that was going on was not good. So I mean, so it's kind
Yeah.
of kind of one of those situations. But
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
album reviews this week. I took on a band called Dust, their new album Thoughts of a Falling Man. Dust is a groove metalcore band formed in 2016 and hailing from Turin, Piedmont, Italy, which I find it interesting that we've been coming up like doing this stuff and like for some reason one of us winds up picking an Italian band
Yep.
here the last not the last couple of times, but I mean from the last year or so. We spent all this time. I think Never Obey Again may have been the first Italian band on the
Yeah,
show.
they were. Yeah, they
And
were.
then like we've had two others since then, so it's kind of like wow, it's like we didn't know there was all this music in Italy, but here we are.
And especially to when Never Obey Again came on, especially to hear that according to them, it's actually not a super duper strong local scene, and then
Right.
it's just like okay. So I mean,
Yeah, but there's a lot of bands putting records out though.
yeah,
The current members are Stefano D'Angelo on guitars, Riccardo Perazzi on vocals, Federico Ignini on guitars, Eric Di Donato on drums, and Francesco Di Elia on bass. Which all those names sound mafia to me, so I would not probably fucking these guys, but it's, but anyway, and I think the two like Stefano and Ricardo are the actually only two original members of the band. So
oh okay,
I don't know if they're like if that's the case because they only had two albums, and I think the first one was in 2022.
oh okay,
So almost everybody was on that band except the bassist. He joined in 23, but everybody else was on the record in 22.
gotcha.
So, so I'm not sure because like that was our first record in 22. So I'm not sure if they just formed a band in 2017 and then didn't add anybody until 19 and 22, and then
Gotcha.
and then record an album, or if they had people that what I didn't even look. I should look and see if they were past members. Let's see, where's it at? There it is. I didn't even look to see if there were past members. Okay, so there were a bassist and a drummer that was in 2017 that got out of the band during the COVID pandemic. So, and then there was a drummer from 21 to 22. So he may have been on the first record, I guess. But
Gotcha.
so yeah, so. Or actually, I take that back. The first full length was in 2019. So maybe that's why it took 7 years since they were going through the drums and bass players there. So I thought it was 22. It's 2019. There we go. Anyway, this is the band's second full-length release. The 9 tracks, 39 minutes, 54 seconds in length. So not a long listen. Opening track was a minute 45 intro, which was more like a standalone instrumental, if you ask me. So it wasn't really. I don't know. I mean, like it's listed as an intro, but I mean, technically, I don't consider it an intro because it was pretty much just an instrumental, and it didn't really go into the first track. So, you cut off and then went into the track. You know what I'm saying? Usually they'll bleed in, but yeah, this one didn't really do that. So
Yeah.
vocally was about what you would expect, from a metalcore or a groove metal band, which is kind of Randy Blythe meets Matt Heafy. I would say something somewhere around along that realm. Mostly screens with very little clean work because like I said, it's metalcore and groove together. So
Yeah.
so it's not going to be as much clean stuff going on, which is fine. I mean, they had
Hmm.
some clean stuff in there, but it wasn't predominant, I guess, or it wasn't. It was so minute. It's not even worth mentioning, really. So it was like,
Okay, I got
you
you.
know, that, or there was a little talking in between a couple of tracks too. So then there were guitars were well done. Not many tempo changes. Just fast and heavy attack, kind of like you would probably expect from that type of band. So listen, nothing really surprising when I listen. When I realized what kind of music they're playing. When I listened to it, I was like, I mean, that's everything I was expecting to hear. So, so, it did showcase some nice bass lines though a couple times throughout, and I thought, man, that's sick because like you don't hear. Like we talk about this every week, but you don't hear a lot of bass lines, like distinct bass lines. I think in a lot of other songs, like you can tell this there, but you don't hear it distinctively
Hmm.
popping out at you. And
Yeah.
these had those little nice little bass lines. It's like,
Sure.
oh shit, that's nice.
Yeah.
Uh, so the drumming was great. I think Eric's another one of those drummers where it seems like they have multiple feet. Doing all the work. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like I'm like, damn man, like how am I'm still amazed by that. I don't know like how they pull that off. I would
Yeah.
love to just see, you know, I don't know. I'd love just to see them like getting ready to record stuff like that. How they prepare themselves to do that.
Hmm.
It's pretty amazing to me. I mean, like I said, Thomas hates bleeds the first thing that we ever think of whenever we hear stuff like that, and I'm just like, now I hear it. We thought that was like the greatest thing ever when we heard it, and now it's like you almost hear it more frequently, and it's just like, man, these guys are in that same realm, and this is like,
Hmm.
20 years later, it's kind of
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe we're still saying that,
Yeah.
but it's but yeah, so but keeping it short and sweet this week, like everything else on the show. So
Mm.
I'm gonna give this one 3.5 horns. So
All right. Nothing wrong with that.
I think it's mainly just because like it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't like anything that really like stuck out and,
Sure.
and grabbed me. It's like it's a great album. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I think if it had a little bit of some certain element in there that would have kind of been like surprising, I guess. I
Yeah.
probably,
No, I,
I
I
probably, I
totally.
probably, I probably would have gave it a little bit higher. But like I said, it's a great album. I mean, I'd go out and buy it. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy it, but it's
Yeah.
just
No, I totally get it. And I get it because my album this week was the new album Future is Calling by Toxic Shock. They are a thrash metal slash crossover band from Antwerp, Belgium, formed in 2010, currently signed to Reflections Records. Their current members are Martin DeWitt, Wout Stas, DK, PC, and Wouter Verhagen. So Martin is the bass player. I'm sure it's pronounced Vout, is on drums. Then you got DK and PC both on guitar. I don't know who's rhythm and who's lead. And Wouter Verhagen is on vocals. This is the band's third full length album. Their debut album, Daily Demons, came out in 2013. Let's see if let me see something. They did have an EP in 2023 and a 2012. So they have a couple of EPs and three full length albums under their belts. This one to me, kind of like yours, I would say there wasn't anything really that stood out that really separated itself from the album. Like the guitars didn't really outshine the bass, didn't outshine the drums, didn't outshine the vocals. It was a very consistent album, and that's a good thing and bad thing at the same time. Because I mean, this one is, even though it's a thrash slash crossover band, I would say there's more of the hardcore and punk influence in this album. And I've never been like a massive fan of punk. I don't mind some hardcore, because our buddies in Extinction AD, they have a lot of hardcore elements, and we know,
Yeah.
hate breed and Biohazard and Suicidal Tendencies. They have like the hardcore, they have a hardcore background and a lot of hardcore elements, but they're a little bit more diverse in their sound. This album to me kind of stayed along the same course all the way through. I wouldn't say that any of the riffs you know were super duper memorable. I mean, that the guitar riffs are mostly where the punk influence was felt to me. And one of my pet peeves with punk is always like, you basically take two chords and you just take turns playing those two chords,
Right.
and that's kind of how it felt more often than not with this album. The vocals were all the way clean throughout, but there were some instances where they seemed a little more spoken word, which was fine. Tempo wasn't really a problem. I mean, I would say that's more of where the thrash elements came in, was with the tempo of the album. Nice and up tempo, which was good. I like a nice up tempo album, as we all do. No real guitar solos to speak of, which I don't really care for that. So this one is a mixed bag. There were things that I liked and things that I didn't really care for. There was more stuff I liked that didn't like. But gonna go with a short and sweet review, just like you. Gonna give this one 3 out of 5 this week. So
Okay. Good deal.
yeah. So looking forward to this coming Friday, April 10th, over from our friends at HeavyMusicHQ.com. A little bit of a longer list this week. Next week. Longer than this week's, but Jesus, not as long as 2 weeks ago. Good Lord, there was so much shit 2 weeks ago. It was ridiculous. So let's see what we got. Leading off with Abrogation with Weiterschein. That's obviously a German band. Amulets with Remainders. That's an EP. Archspire with Too Fast to Die. As Everything Unfolds with Did You Ask to Be Set Free? Aurora Borealis with Disillusion by The Illusion. Battlegrave with Enslavement. Bezcrest with Naturalna Nitolerantia. Blacklight District with Whatever Happens Next. Black Oak Country with Misprint. Body Snatcher with Hell Is Here, Hell Is Home. Caustic with Inner Deflagration. Chronicler of Ardal with Sounds of Ardal. Cody Jasper with Rock Is Dead, even though it's not. Da with a self-titled album. Demonologist and Vinorus with Plante Arcanus. Dim Wind with the Carry-On Waltz. Disenfutured with a self-titled album. Dotsvanger with Within the Flesh. Fighter 5 with Deja Vu. Frank Carducci with Sheeple. Frontside with Nemesis. Nod with Chronicles of Nout Volume 1. Goat's Palm with Beneath. Gore Force 5 with Anus Porcus Oinkus.
Oh, just turn somebody into a pig, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah. Hyper Gal with Our Hyper. I Am the Avalanche with The Horror Show. Immolation with Descent. In Fairy with Heaven Wept. Levels with This Will Make You Feel Again. Long Distance Calling with The Phantom Void. Lord of the Lost with Opus Noir Volume 3. The Lords of Altamont with Forever Loaded. The Machinist with Towers, that's an EP. The Mechanist rather, with Synthetic Sun. Machina with Let the Spiders In, let's not. Melakesh with Sentinels of Shamash, that's an EP. The Melvins and Napalm Death with Savage Imperial Death March. That one could be an interesting listen. Those two bands getting together, the Melvins and Napalm Death. That
Yeah,
could be
I heard
that
one
could
of those
be
songs.
interesting.
I heard one of those songs. It was just kind of a. I mean, the lyrics are still punkish, but they just
Yeah.
got like death metal back instruments and stuff. It's kind of like
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah, and then one that we've both been looking forward to, Metal Church with Dead to Rights.
Yes.
Negatio with Myleni Murtama. The Neptune Power Federation with Mondo Tomorrow. Nick Oliveri with No Hits at All. No Hits at All, Volume 10, Nukem with The Grave Remains, Obey the Kraken with Apocrypha, Octo with Idyll, Oregon with Immobilism, Palmar de Troya with 3, that's an EP, Polymath with Something Deeply Hidden, Purple Skies with A Million Years, Repesha Euvant with 3 plus 2, Resurrected with Perpetual, Rycat with 2026, Sacrilegium with Weisher, that's a re-release, Scythe of Mephisto with Till Death Do Us Part, that's an EP, Sectarian Defacement with Hostile Consuming Rapture, Sicarius with Nex, Scaphos with The Descent, Stepmother with Absurdus Manifestus, Sugar Horse with Not a Sound in Heaven, Sweet with Reincarnation, that's a re-release, Taurask with Citra Aura, 10 East and Soft Sun with Turn to Stone Chapter 10, Throwing Bricks and Ontard, I didn't name it, Something to Lose, Thunderkill with Global Cataclysm, Touche Amore with Stage 4, that's a re-release, Truck Fighters with Masterflow, Uwada with Interwoven, that's an EP, Urluk with Memories and Fade, Void Chaser with Interstellar 1, Vomitory with In Death Throes, Warhog with Ethereal Journey, that's an EP, Witch Ripper with Through the Hourglass, Worship the Sacrifice with Veil of Revelations, that's an EP, and Ecstasy with Phoenix. So those are the upcoming releases for April 10th.
Very cool. There was one story I meant to ask you about. And I forgot.
Okay.
It was because I think you had posted it, so I was like, oh, he'll probably have that, but I'm gonna because I had it up on my screen. I didn't put it on my actual list because I didn't know if you would have it or not. I meant to ask you before the show, but there was the one where Crystal Lake they split with their vocalist.
Oh, Jesus, I completely forgot all about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I completely forgot all about it.
I was like, I had it pulled up, and I was like, oh man, I forgot to ask him about that. And then we kind of went through the stories already, but yeah,
Yeah.
they've decided to split with him, and they're going forward without him doing because they're on tour right now.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going on without him and doing special guest vocalist until they find somebody permanent. So
Oh, okay.
he had only been there like 3 years though. It's kind of weird
Hmm.
because Ryo left in 2022, and he had been with the band pretty much for the majority of their success. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a I think that's the thing, like replacing somebody that had been part of your success is really hard. I think.
Oh, I'm sure it's always difficult.
Yeah, because I mean, to find somebody, you're not gonna always find a Tim Ripper Owens to your Rob Halford. I mean, that's never
Right, yeah.
you're never gonna get that lucky. I mean, that's just not
Yeah.
that's just not happening anymore.
Mm-mm.
So, but yeah, I thought I'd bring that up before we.
Yeah, I
went
completely
there,
forgot that I
because
posted that. Yeah,
I-
no, good looking out.
Yeah, because I was just like, I said, I think he paid. I'm pretty sure he posted this, but I'm gonna save it because when you said you only had deaths, I'm just like, oh, I wonder if he forgot he did that. So, and I guess you did. So,
Yeah, I did.
oh man. I guess this one will wrap up this week's episode. Just to let you
Yeah.
guys know, we are off next week. We're taking next week off.
Yep.
Chris is going out of town, and then I have a prior engagement too, which is kind of funny that we both had that in mind. Because when you text me, I was like, yeah, actually, I was gonna tell you that I was planning on being off that week too. So,
Yeah, so it just worked out. So yeah.
it just worked out. Yeah. So,
But
so, yeah.
we do have an interview lined up for the 18th. So
We do, and maybe the 25th. I don't know yet. We're still waiting to hear back on that.
yep, we are working on it. So
Which would kind of be cool. I think that's kind of one of the things that we had been working on. I think to get a PR person on here, and then just so happens I didn't realize. I don't know about you, but I didn't realize she was that in depth with metal, man. Like she's been intertwined for a long time, dude.
yeah,
Like,
it'll be. I saw where you were talking to Curtis about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, all right, that might be interesting. So yeah,
So we'll see. So,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I still have one email for sure that's floating around out there that I haven't
Okay.
gotten an answer from yet. I think maybe two, one for sure. So I mean, we're always out there asking. So
That's right. Yeah. So definitely we definitely have one for the 18th scheduled. Then of course going forward, depends on what comes out this week or next week, and
yeah,
we'll probably reach out to a band or two here or there and try to see about getting them on a show at some point too. So
yep,
so definitely trying to get back into the swing of getting guests back on for you guys. So So I know, even though you like to hear us go on our tirades, I know.
Well, that's the funny thing is no one's told us to shut the fuck up yet. So I mean, must
Well, I mean,
we
they can
must
tell us. It may not do
we
any
must
good.
not be doing. Well, I'm not saying we would do it, but I mean, no one's told us to. So
And also, guys, if you haven't and you didn't know, check out our 24/7 streaming radio station over at thefrontrow.net/radio. And the radio is with a capital R. And there's
that's
multiple
right.
stations there. Just make sure you click on the Metalheads Unite one.
Make sure you pick the right one. Then follow us on our social media platforms, our Facebook group and Facebook page, X, Instagram, TikTok, our YouTube channel, on Twitch, Rumble, and check out all of our playlists, the themes of the week and the new release playlist that Jason puts together over on Spotify. And our email address as always, metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com. So
Awesome. Yep. And that will wrap this bad boy up a little early. That's all right.
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So don't want to wear out our welcome when there's nothing to really talk about. So. All right, guys. Hopefully, you guys have a great week. And like I said, just remember we won't be here next week. And if you do want to see what's going on, follow us on our Facebook page. That's where most of it happens. Our Facebook group, actually, where page and group, both of them kind of have their own
Yep.
separate things going on there. So
Yeah, yeah.
I know it kind of got where I think our album reviews got flooded in with the group stuff. So I decided it's probably better to put them on the page where it's being seen, and not flooded where people
Yeah.
can't see it. I think it's actually gotten more
I think it's worked better that way. Yeah.
likes and stuff there. So it's
Yeah.
I think more people's seen it. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is literally anyone can see it over on the page, so
Right,
that's totally
right.
fine. Because even people who are in the group, I mean, they can see it in the page too. It's just that one
True.
is literally open to the public. So I'm not exactly why it took so long for us to realize that we
I
don't have
know.
to do it in both places. Because I mean, we're doing not double work because all I ever did was copy and paste. So I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't that big of a deal. But I mean, there were just unnecessary steps we were going through. So yeah, it's just
Well, they always asked me to share to the group too, and I always said yeah, but I'm just like, it's kind of like
yeah.
I feel like the group page is more for us doing our news, sharing news and
Yeah, and people
the
sharing
bands
music
that they
videos and
sharing.
stuff.
Yeah, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And the actual pages for most of the bands that that we have are following us on there.
Mm-hmm.
So they do they do a lot of the hey, can you vote for us? Kind of like what Weapons of God's doing right now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they did. I think that was over yesterday, but
Oh yeah. I have to look into that.
they
see
were
how
in
that
they were in
goes.
fourth place yesterday. So
I knew top 5 somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, so which is good. I mean, that's getting them some recognition.
Oh
Hopefully,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing well.
All right, guys, that will end this week. We will see you back here in 2 weeks on the 18th with a special guest. If you want to know who that is, like I said, follow us on our Facebook
That's
page
right.
and group, and we will be sharing that info out here in a week or so.
Yep.
And then we will go forward from there. Hopefully we'll have some more interviews lined up for a couple weeks afterwards, so we can kind of get this ball rolling again. So,
Hell yeah.
all right, guys. Until then, like I said, happy Easter to everybody. Hopefully,
Easter.